Integration has failed. You hear it constantly, from politicians, from media, from people genuinely frustrated watching their communities change. And I want to address that directly, because there's a massive lie embedded in that statement. Integration didn't fail. Integration was never actually attempted. Let me explain what I mean. First, let's define what successful integration actually requires, not the fantasy version, the real version, based on places that did it well. It needs language programs that are adequately funded, accessible, and available when people need them, not with 2-year wait lists. Job training and credential recognition, so a doctor from another country doesn't spend 10 years driving Uber because their degree doesn't count. Community resources for both newcomers and existing residents, not just cultural centers, but conflict mediation, economic support, mental health services. Time, because real integration takes a generation, not a year. Economic stability, because people who are struggling to survive don't have bandwidth for cultural exchange. Now let me show you what we actually did. In most Western countries, here's the reality. Language programs, massively underfunded. In many US cities, there are 6-month to 2-year wait lists for free English classes. In the UK, funding for ESOL, English for speakers of other languages, was cut by 60% between 2009 and 2015. Job training barely exists. Credential recognition is a bureaucratic nightmare that takes years and thousands of dollars, so skilled immigrants end up in survival jobs while their training goes to waste. Community resources? Most communities were already under-resourced before new populations arrived. Then we added more people without adding more funding. We took existing residents already struggling with wage stagnation and service cuts, added newcomers also struggling, and provided almost no support to either group. Then we acted shocked when tensions arose. Imagine this scenario. You're in a 2-bedroom apartment. It's small, but it works. Now I move another family in with you. Don't worry, they're good people. But now you're sharing one bathroom, one kitchen, competing for space. I don't give you a bigger apartment, I don't add resources, I just say, make it work, and call you a bigot if you complain about the crowding. That's what we did to communities. When the school system is already overcrowded and underfunded, adding students without adding teachers creates conflict. When the healthcare system has long wait times, adding patients without adding doctors creates resentment. When housing is already scarce and wages are stagnant, adding economic competition creates tension. This isn't about immigrants being bad people or existing residents being racist. This is about policy failure, creating predictable pressure. Here are the questions nobody wants to ask honestly. What level of immigration can we actually support well? Not what makes us feel virtuous, not what's politically convenient. What can we actually integrate successfully with proper resources? Are we willing to fund real integration? Language programs, job training, community resources, expanded services. That costs money. Are we willing to pay for it? What are realistic timelines? Integration takes generations. Are we okay with that, or do we expect overnight assimilation? How do we support existing communities during transition? When change is rapid, people feel displaced. That feeling is real. How do we address it without scapegoating? The West's failure wasn't compassion. It wasn't taking in immigrants. The failure was dishonesty. We refuse to admit there are limits to how much change a community can absorb without support. We called people racist for noticing their services were overwhelmed. We pretended infinite growth was sustainable. We prioritized feeling good about ourselves over doing the hard work of actual integration. And when predictable problems arose, we blamed ordinary people instead of the policymakers who created the conditions. Integration can work, but it requires honesty about limits, investment in resources, and time. Everything we refuse to provide. Next video, what real integration policy would actually look like? Subscribe if you want honest answers.